Namaste, welcome to Geeta's Kitchen. Today I thought I'll take a break from cooking and share with you all an interesting story. Recently, all of us have been thrilled at the Rama Prana Pratishthan at the Ayodhya temple, and it really gladdened our hearts to see Ram Lalla being installed over there with all ceremony. And Rama to us is a symbol of how one should lead one's life. There are so many lessons to be learned from his life. There is something in it for every one of us. Today's story is a little bit concerning the Ramayana also. This is about Shri Hanuman and Shani Bhagwan. Usually people, especially in India, fear Shani Bhagwan or Saturn as he is known. Because they feel that it has a lot of negative effects when Saturn transits through their horoscope and the moon sign. So it is also known as Sade Saathi, or 7.5 years of 2.5 years each, 2.5 the moon sign before your actual moon sign, then 2.5, then the other remaining 2.5, a total of 7.5 years. So people fear this, and then they start doing a lot of ways to overcome, a lot of pariharas to overcome the negative effects of this for people who believe in astrology. So personally, I don't have any particular opinion about this. I am only sharing the story with you. Now this process need not always be a negative period for everybody, as generally people believe. For some it can also lead to a lot of success and fame and achievement when Shani becomes a Yoga Karaka also. But generally it is believed that when the Shani Dasha is passing through your horoscope, then you have some physical ailments, maybe whatever you do doesn't lead to success, there might be some disturbances in family relationships and so on. That is why people fear this Sade Saathi, as it is generally called. Now coming back to our story, this takes place during the Ramayana when Hanuman has discovered Sita in Lanka. Then he comes back and reports it to Sri Rama. Then Rama, along with Hanuman and his entire Vanara Sena, gather near the ocean shore, and they start building the bridge from the shores of South India to reach Sri Lanka. And that time all the great heroes of the Vanara Sena, Angad is there, Shri Hanuman is there, many other great, Jambavan is there, all the people are there, and each one to his ability carries a stone and a boulder and throws it into the ocean, so that the bridge can be built for the entire Sena to cross over. And here our Hanumanji, who is the greatest devotee of Shri Ram, is busy. He takes each boulder and on it writes Ram or Jai Shri Ram, and then throws it into the water, and then it stays afloat. As they were doing this, Rama and Lakshmana are also engaged in the same work. Suddenly Shani Bhagwan makes his appearance there, and then he sees Shri Ram and Lakshman, and he bows down to them and says, excuse me for disturbing you in your work. So he goes up to Sri Rama and tells him, see, I have to do my duty now. The Sade Saathi, that is the 7.5 year period of Shani for Shri Hanuman, has to begin now. The time is just right for it, and he cannot escape it. Nobody on earth can escape this. This is true for all. So I have to do my duty, please excuse me for it. So Sri Rama says, yes, just as we are doing our duty, naturally you also have to do your duty. So Sri Rama with a slight smile says, go ahead, Sri Hanuman is over there doing his work, and if you can take hold of him, go right ahead. So then Shani Bhagwan takes leave and starts to go towards Hanumanji. Hanumanji is over there. All concentration is work of taking the boulders, writing Jai Shri Ram on it and throwing it into the sea in order to build the Setu or bridge across the ocean. So then Shani Bhagwan goes there, stands in front of Hanumanji and says, Anjaneya, I am Shanishwara who has come here. Now it is the time for me to take hold of you. your time for the 7.5 years of this transit has begun. So you please tell me which part of your body I should take hold of so that I can do my duty. Then Hanumanji also does namaskar to him politely. He says, yes, what you say is right, but just give me a little bit of time because we are all involved in some very important work, that of rescuing Sita from the clutches of Ravana. So once this Setu or this bridge is built and our Vanar Sena is able to cross over and we are able to rescue Ma Sita and bring her back, I myself will come and present myself to you, and you can even take hold of my entire body. Why only one part? You can take hold of my entire body and it's all yours. But Shanishwara doesn't listen. He says, no, 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 that cannot be accepted because that is the rule of Kala, that is time, and nobody can escape the rule of time or destiny, and what has to happen has to happen. There is no kind of, the rules cannot be made flexible for anybody. This has to happen. You tell me where you want me to take hold of you. So then Hanuman thinks for a while. He says, well, if you insist, I can ask you to come over and reside in my hands, but then my hands are involved in some very important work. So my hands are not free now. Next, my feet. I can ask you to come and reside in my feet, but then that would be like insulting you. I cannot ask you to reside in my feet. He thinks for a moment and then he says, for this body, the greatest is the head. So I will give you the greatest position in my body, that is on my head. Yes, please come and sit on my head, and then you continue to do your duty, whatever you want, so that I can just continue with my work also. Then Shani Bhagwan agrees. He is happy that he is able to sit on Hanumanji's head, and he thinks, yes, now for 7.5 years I will give him all the trouble as is required, and I can do my duty successfully. So he sits on Hanumanji's head. Hanumanji is not worried because his mind is all the time only filled with his love and the Rama Nama. So he goes about his work. Now earlier he was carrying huge boulders. Now with Shanishwara on his head, he carries even bigger boulder, huge boulders. Shri Hanuman has got immense strength. He carries huge boulders, places them on his head and starts walking towards the sea to drop them down. Now what happened? All the weight of these huge heavy boulders which Hanumanji was carrying on his own head was now borne by Shani Bhagwan. And he found it very difficult to bear this weight. He said, oh my God, what have I been trapped into? It seems as if the 7.5 year Sade Saathi has now affected me, Shani Bhagwan itself. What do I do? And unable to bear the weight anymore, he just jumps down from Hanumanji's head. So then Hanumanji looks at him. He said, Shani Bhagwan, what happened? You were to stay here for 7.5 years. Why did you jump off so soon? And Shani Bhagwan tells him, oh Hanumanji, it is impossible for me to give you any trouble because you are none other than the Amsham or a part of Shivji himself. I think I have to concede defeat over here. So then Hanumanji, with all humility, says, no, no, Shani Bhagwan, you have not been defeated. You don't have to concede defeat. You are actually won. How is it? Okay, maybe you could not get hold of me for 7.5 years, but at least 7.5 minutes you were on my head. That itself is, I think, a good achievement for you. But Shani Bhagwan still feels that he wants to do something for Hanumanji in his remorse. So he says, I would like to do something for you. So please tell me something, ask for anything which I can do for you. Then Hanumanji thinks for a while and then he tells him, okay, if that is the case, just promise me one thing. He says, what is it? Please give me your word that for anyone who is undergoing this 7.5 years period of Sade Saathi or their transit of Saturn and who are facing many problems and challenges in their life, you yourself will see to it that whatever problems and challenges they are facing, they will be able to face it boldly and eventually come out of it unharmed. Yes, what we have to face in life is always there. One cannot escape it. But even then, even what we have to face, you give them the strength to face it, and at the end of it, they should come out of it totally unharmed. For all those who have deep devotion and bhakti towards Shri Rama in their hearts. So then Shani Bhagwan says, so be it. For any bhakta of Shri Rama who always concentrates and thinks of Shri Rama in his mind, I will never cause any ill effect during their 7.5 period of Shani Dasha. So that is why it is said, even in the elders have always instructed us to continue this Rama Nama Japa, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, or just Jai Shri Ram, whatever is comfortable to you. At this stage, even to this day, I remember with great affection my mother-in-law. I mentioned this earlier also. Even in her 80s, she could not even hold the pen properly in her hand. But she would meticulously write Ram, Ram, Ram. I don't know how many crores of Rama Nama she has written. In fact, I remember many years ago, all her crores of Koti Rama Nama Japam, all those books were taken to be placed for that foundation to, they collected it, it took. And if she had been alive today, she would have been really very happy too. And she used to ask me, Geeta, I am not able to help you with anything in the kitchen. And my answer always would be, Amma, you are doing the greatest help for me. You are sitting there and writing this Rama Nama, causing so much of positive vibrations within the house, and that will take care of our family always. So this is one small incident which came to my mind and during this Ayodhya Rama Prana Pratishtha ceremony, and all those of you who believe, those of you who can, just continue chanting Rama Nama whenever, wherever. Maybe you are traveling, maybe you are cooking, whenever you are free. Maybe you just sit in meditation, you don't have time. Chant Rama Nama. There is no limit, so many times, no strict rule, regulation, nothing. You are just able to write 12 times a day, just Ram Ram, keep a separate notebook, write it. Believe me, you will find immense peace for yourself, good health and prosperity for yourself, and lot of happiness also you will get. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to Geeta's Kitchen, and we'll meet again with another interesting episode from Geeta's Kitchen. Thank you.